Hi there, it's Jolene. So I'm continuing where I left off last video, and I'm going to continue some therapy metaphors and diffusion that might be helpful to keep in mind. I started the hike last video and now I'm continuing it, so hopefully you can follow along while I share these metaphors with you. Okay, time for metaphor number 1. So it's called tug of war. So imagine yourself playing tug of war with this monster on the other end of the rope. And it could be Godzilla, it could be whatever ferocious monster you can think about. And you're playing tug of war with it. No matter how much time or energy you spend trying to win this tug of war, you just can't. This monster is so much stronger than you and more scary than you, and you're really white knuckling this rope, but it just won't budge. But what would happen if you just drop the rope? You know, the monster is still there on the other end and in sight, but you're just not playing the game with it anymore. You know, you're not letting it pull you around. I'm imagining, like, if you've ever played tug of war with a little dog and there's like that rope and you're just dangling the dog around, and you know they've got nothing on you, and that's kind of how I imagine this, you know, monster treating you. They've got so much control and so much more power over you. But what if the dog, or what if you just drop the rope, you know, and don't play the game? There's so many other meaningful things that you could be engaging in besides this game with the monster. It really takes the power back into your hands, and you have the choice to choose differently. So that's the first metaphor for this video, and stay tuned for the second one. There's quite a few stairs for this one. I just want to show you the view real quick from this bench. So here is actually a good spot for the next metaphor, which is called hands as thoughts and feelings. That's kind of hard to do and explain at the same time, so I am just going to do it and add a little voiceover later.
Imagine that out there in front of you is everything that really matters to you, deep in your heart. Everything that makes your life meaningful, or used to in the past. All the people, places, and activities you love, all your favorite foods and drinks and music and books and movies. all the things you like to do and all the people you care about and want to spend time with. But that's not all. Also over there are all the problems and challenges you need to deal with in your life today. Maybe it's some conflict with a loved one, your financial issues, your health problems, your search for a job. And also over there are all the tasks you need to do on a regular basis to make your life work. Shopping, cooking, cleaning, driving, doing your taxes, and so on. Now please copy me as we do this exercise. Let's imagine that our hands are our thoughts and feelings, and let's put them together like this. Now let's see what happens when we get hooked by our thoughts. Now notice 3 things. First, how much are you missing out on right now? How disconnected and disengaged are you from the people and things that matter? If the person you love were right there in front of you, how disconnected would you be? If your favorite movie were playing on a screen over there, how much would you miss out on? Second, notice how difficult it is to focus your attention on what you need to do. If there is an important task in front of you right now, how hard is it to focus on it? If there's a problem you need to address or a challenge you need to tackle, how hard is it to give it your full attention? Third, notice how difficult it is, like this, to take action, to do the things that make your life work, such as to cook dinner, to drive your car, to cuddle a loved one, to type on your computer, to hug the person you love. So notice how difficult life is when we're hooked, when we're missing out, we're cut off and disconnected. It's hard to focus and it's hard to do the things that make life work. Now let's see what happens as we unhook from those thoughts and feelings. Notice what happens as we unhook. What's your view of what's in front of you now? How much easier is it to engage and connect? If your favorite person were in front of you right now, how much more connected would you be? If there were a task you needed to do or a problem you needed to address, how much easier would it be to focus on it like this? Now notice these hands haven't disappeared. We haven't chopped them off and gotten rid of them. They're still here. So if there's something useful you can do with them, you can use them. You see, even really painful thoughts and feelings often have useful information that helps us. Even if it's just pointing us towards problems we need to address, or things we need to do differently, or simply reminding us to be kinder to ourselves. And if there's nothing useful we can do with them, we just let them sit there.
So that was it for that metaphor, and it's time to go to the next spot for our final metaphor of the day. It's time for our last metaphor, I'm sorry if the audio isn't super clear because my microphone gave out on me, so hopefully we can make this work. The last metaphor is called chessboard. And if you think about a chessboard, there's one side that is black, and they can symbolize the unpleasant thoughts and feelings that we have inside our minds. And then the white side that can stand for the pleasant thoughts and feelings in our mind. And we get really obsessed with this game. We really want to remove the negative thoughts and feelings. But there's a problem with this chess game. It's ongoing. There's an infinite amount of pieces, an infinite amount of positive and negative thoughts and feelings running through your mind throughout a whole lifetime. And like the angel and devil on your shoulders, a positive piece is attracted to a negative piece. If you move one, then another one will react and move along with it. And the goal of this metaphor is that instead of being one of the pieces on the board and getting like consumed by the game, you want to be like the chessboard. The chessboard is connected with the pieces, but it's not involved in the fighting. Just like tug-of-war metaphor from earlier, you are not engaging in the game. Instead, you're taking a step back and watching your thoughts come and go. You make space for them without getting caught up in the battle itself. So the whole point of all of these diffusion metaphors is to create space for what's meaningful in our lives. We waste so much time and energy trying to engage in the battle inside of our minds as if we are a soldier, just really involved in the war. We invest so much time and energy into this game or this battle inside of our mind that we could have been using to pursue more engaging activities that align with who you want to be. The takeaway from these metaphors is instead of engaging in these futile attempts at playing the game or getting involved in the battle between angels and devils on your shoulder or on the chessboard, instead of all of that, create space for what is meaningful to you, what makes a life worth living, and what brings you joy. Acknowledge that the battles are going on inside of your mind, and they're probably not going to stop, at least not forever. So just acknowledge that they're there. Notice what's happening, but don't engage in the fight. So I hope you found this helpful, and thank you so much for coming along with me for this journey, this hike. Please let me know your thoughts about these metaphors in the comments below, and subscribe if you would like to see more mental health content. And thank you so much for watching, and I wish you well. Take care, and I'll see you next time.